Peace and blessings, beautiful people. Peace and blessings. I'm Goddess Imani, and welcome to Sacred Love Lessons. This is a sacred space where we remember who we are, rise in our truth, and radiate the frequencies of love, clarity, and sovereignty. Welcome back. Last episode, we moved through the gate of forgetting and stepped into the I choose me frequency, letting go of old roles and finally centering ourselves. But here's what happens next. When you choose yourself, things get clear, real clear. You start seeing who benefited from you staying small. Today's story, She Finally Got the Memo, is about the moment when confusion lifts and the pattern reveals itself, especially in a mother-daughter dynamic that looked loving on the surface, but moved very differently underneath. She finally got the memo. Everybody loved her mother. That's how the story usually started. At church, at family functions, in group chats, her mother was the one people called strong, graceful, so giving. The kind of woman who'd hug you tight, smile wide, and ask all the right questions like she had nothing but love to give. And to be fair, she did give, just not in the way people thought. At home, things ran a little differently. By the time the daughter was tall enough to reach the stove, she was cooking full meals. By middle school, she was packing lunches, braiding hair, washing clothes, rocking babies to sleep like a second mother to kids she didn't give birth to. Help your siblings. Be responsible. You're the oldest. Act like it. No one ever said, "You're still a child." So she stopped being one. While other girls were outside figuring out who they were, she was inside making sure everyone else was okay. Diapers, dishes, laundry, homework help. Her life had a rhythm to it, and none of it belonged to her. Still, she tried to earn something from it. A thank you. You did good. Something soft. Sometimes her mother would deliver a random compliment, a moment of closeness, just enough to make her think, okay, this is real. But it never stayed. There was always a shift, a comment that cut a little too clean, a look that lingered a little too long, a joke that somehow made her feel smaller. You think you're better than everybody now? You're doing the most as usual. I just don't want you getting ahead of yourself. Always said with a smile, always dressed up as concerned. And for a long time, the daughter believed that's just how love came from her mother. Complicated, a little sharp around the edges. So, she kept going. She grew up. She built a life. She found love. And somehow, despite every silent doubt placed in her path, she kept winning. That part, her mother didn't know what to do with. Because every time the daughter rose, something subtle would follow. Support would disappear right when she needed it most. Encouragement would turn into distance. Celebrations felt quiet, forced. Still, in public, oh, I'm so proud of her. She's doing an amazing job. That's my baby. It sounded good. It looked good. But it never felt good. Then came the season where everything in the daughter's life clicked. Her marriage felt easy, like partnership, like peace. They traveled, laughed, built memories that didn't require survival mode. For the first time, she wasn't just maintaining life. She was living it. And somehow, that's when things got even louder. Not on the surface, but underneath. Conversations shifted again. Energy changed. People she barely spoke to started moving funny, smiling in her face, but something about it felt off. Like they already knew something about her she didn't agree with. Then one day it reached her. Not directly, never directly, but clear enough. Her mother had been talking, framing things a certain way, gathering people under the language of quote unquote concern, prayer, and support. Except that the prayers were not for her growth. They were for disruption, for separation, for struggle, for things to fall apart, especially in the parts of her life that were working. And suddenly, everything made sense. The random heaviness, the doubt that didn't feel like hers, the moments where joy felt like it had an expiration date. It wasn't in her head, it was a pattern, a whole system built quietly over time. The loving image, the private undermining, the emotional pull-ins whenever she created distance, the subtle recruiting of others to hold a version of her that kept her small, and the envy. That part hit different. Because once she saw it, she could not unsee it. Her mother didn't just misunderstand her. She resented her growth, her freedom, her ability to create a life that didn't revolve around pain and struggle. The daughter sat with that truth longer than she expected to. It wasn't dramatic, it was clarifying, like cleaning a window you didn't realize was dirty. For the first time, everything lined up. Every confusing moment had a place. Every mixed signal made sense. Every emotional loop had a clear starting point. And once she saw it clearly, she stopped participating. No big speech, no announcement, no explaining herself to people committed to misunderstanding her. She just moved on. Same number, different access, different levels of availability. And when her mother reached out, because of course she did, soft voice, ready, concerned, fully activated, the daughter didn't get pulled back in this time. She saw it for what it was, a low vibing frequency loop. And she was done running it. So she chose something new. Peace that didn't come with conditions, love that didn't require shrinking, a life that actually belonged to her. And just like that, the confusion lifted. Not all at once, but enough. Enough to trust herself, enough to stay gone, enough to finally understand. She was never hard to love. She was just surrounded by people who benefited from her doubting that. And now, she had the clarity to choose differently for good. And that brings us into our next gate, the field of echoes. This is where you start recognizing what's been projected onto you and what was never yours to carry. So let's get into it. The field of echoes is a space where other people's opinions, fears, and projections get directed at you, especially when you begin to grow, change, or choose yourself. It often shows up as criticism, pressure, guilt, or even subtle attempts to pull you back into an older version of who you used to be. At its core, it's less about you and more about what your growth brings up in others. The key in this field is learning to recognize this is their voice, not yours. And then choosing to stay grounded in your own truth instead of shrinking, explaining, or trying to be understood by someone who isn't meeting you where you are. Shift the focus from you as the target to you as the one who understands the pattern. In the field of echoes, the core dynamic is this: voices from outside try to define who you are, where you belong, and how far you are allowed to go. In real life, other people's behavior isn't really about your independence or your happiness as standalone energy. It's about what those qualities activate inside of them. Your growth becomes a mirror, and in that mirror, they see the paths they didn't take, the freedom they didn't claim, the power they learned to suppress, and the identities they built that now feel unstable in your presence. Instead of processing their own insecurities internally, they project them outward toward you. So the echo sounds like undermining you, speaking against your stability, trying to tarnish your image and damage your career, and even directing harmful intentions like praying for your marriage and relationships to end. The shadow aspect of this frequency is, if you expand, something in me feels like it's shrinking. Let that sink in. That's the distortion of the field of echoes. The gate of the field of echoes is where you're tested on one thing. Will you internalize the voices, or will you recognize them as reflections that were never yours to carry? This is where many people get pulled into confusion, self-doubt, or over-explaining themselves. So today I'm going to give you some ways to shift your energy. Number one, the first thing you want to do is create distance. Put space and distance between you and the person that is attempting to project onto your energetic field. Number two, block access. Now, whether you decide that this block is permanent or temporary, you want to block access to you and to your energy. So you may need to block the person on your phone. You may need to block text messages. You may need to block them on social media. You want to cut off access to your energetic field. And then number three, listen to your higher self. This is the time where you want to go inside and you want to consult with your higher self, your goddess God self within you, and find out what is the next most appropriate step for you to take in how to handle this situation. You want to talk to your higher self. Once you've made these shifts, you've already begun to exit the energy field. Because the field of echoes loses power when access is reduced, engagement is limited, and your internal voice becomes the primary reference point. In the field of echoes, there's often an unspoken energetic contract. The main term is, stay within a version of yourself that keeps me comfortable. This is what the other side is expecting you to do. Stay within a version of yourself that keeps me comfortable. Your independence breaks that contract. Your happiness breaks that contract. And your sovereignty shatters that contract. And when that happens, the field of echoes can intensify because the system is trying to pull you back into an old role. This is a high-level frequency test. And the test is, can you hold the I choose me frequency without collapsing into guilt? Can you hold the I choose me frequency without collapsing into guilt? I know when I first started getting into the I choose me frequency, I did feel some guilt at first because I wasn't used to choosing myself. But as I began to choose myself, I began to practice. With every choice I made, my strength grew, my power grew. I don't feel guilt at all because I have the right. I am a sovereign spirit being in a human body, having a human experience on this planet. And I have the right to be here. I have the right to take up space just like anyone else. And there is no guilt involved, okay? So if you're at a point where you're feeling some guilt, if you feel a lot of guilt, just start each day with something small and make a choice for yourself, okay? Put yourself first, choose you first. I'm not saying don't help other people and support other people. That's not what I'm saying. The people that I am speaking to are people who are helpers, who are caretakers. They usually help people all the time to their own detriment. What I am encouraging you to do is to flip that, to put yourself first, then help people from your overflow. That is what I am suggesting. Then the other test for this gate is, can you stay anchored in your truth without needing their agreement? Can you stay anchored in your truth without needing their agreement? You know, a lot of times it's just human nature that we want people to agree with us. If we say the color is red, we want other people to agree with us that the color is red. That is just a basic example, right? But if you say the color is red and everyone else says that the color is white, will you be okay with being the only person that say it is red? Okay, now it took some time again for me to get to this place where I can teach you this today. But I am at a place that no matter what anyone else says, whatever I am speaking into my life, speaking over my life, and what I am saying is good for me, if no one else agrees with me, I am okay with that. Okay? I lose no sleep. I feel no way. I feel nothing about what other people think or have to say about me. So then the next test for this gate is, can you recognize that someone can love you and still operate from a place of distortion? Can you recognize that someone can love you and still operate from a place of distortion? Now, one thing that I learned on my journey is that two things can be true at the same time. Two things can be true at the same time. I believe that we all have various love languages. We all express our love differently. We all receive love, that expression differently, right? And so you can have someone that express their love in a certain way, and that love to you on the receiving end of that may not feel loving because of the way that they're expressing their love, the lens, the frequency that they're in. On the receiving end of that, it may not feel loving to you. They may not be speaking your love language. You may not be able to receive the way that they're loving, and it may not work for you. So those two things can be true at the same time. A person can be in their mind fully thinking that they are operating from a place of love, and they can fully believe that what they are doing and saying is right. And with 500%, all of them believe that what they are doing is true and correct and right. But if it is not true and correct and right for you, then on the receiving end of that, it does not feel loving. It actually feels very painful. It's actually very hurtful. We're going to go into that on the clarity check-in on a deeper level. I'm going to explain my own personal experience with that, where I've dealt with people who really felt like they loved me. And that expression of love for me was very painful. It was very hurtful, and it was very unloving for me. Okay. Now the reframe that protects your energy is, instead of saying, why are they doing this to me? You reframe it to say, this is their echo. I decide what I amplify. This is their echo. I decide what I amplify. That single shift changes everything, because once you see it clearly, you stop negotiating with distortion. You stop trying to be understood by someone committed to misunderstanding you, and you stop shrinking to maintain a connection. Now, what that tells me is that you got to be willing to stand anchored within yourself. No matter what's going on around you, no matter who's standing with you or who's not standing with you, if you find yourself standing alone, you have to be okay with that. Rooted, anchored within you. So, show the world who you really are. To move through this gate, the field of echoes, honor your truth, quiet the noise, and keep choosing yourself. That's what I have for you today. Thank you for being here and sharing this sacred space with me. If this episode resonated with you, please like it and share it with someone who is ready to remember their own power. And until we speak again, be the light.